Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. WGN is proud to present Chicago White Sox baseball. Tonight it's the White Sox versus George Brett and the Kansas City Royals. And hi, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Royal Stadium here in Mid-America. I'm Ken Harrelson with Tom Pachorik as the Sox get ready to take on Kansas City in Game 2 of this 3-game set after breaking that 6-game losing streak last night, Wimpy 5-3. And one thing I loved about it, obviously, it was Alex with a great outing, but it was the lower part of the batting order taking some heat off the big boppers.
Yeah, some of the guys that really haven't done a whole lot for the offense this year came up with big hits. Danny Pasco, big 2-run double, got the Sox on the board. Matt Marullo drove in the game-winning run, and of course, Craig Grayback added a little bit of insurance, which the Sox certainly needed late in the ball game with his RBI. So it was a good offensive performance by the White Sox last night. Tonight, though, Mark Gubicza, a little bit better pitcher. He is the ace of the Kansas City staff. He has got excellent stuff.
And on the hill for the Sox, it'll be the right-hander, Blackjack McDowell. So Blackjack against Gubicza and Wimpy. We'll be back with a winning lineup right after this.
Chicago White Sox baseball is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft, cold filtered for real draft taste. So get out of the old, get into the cold. By the good guys at your local Dodge dealership. By True Value. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value hardware stores. By Southwest Airlines, offering low fares and frequent flights to many exciting destinations from convenient Midway Airport. Southwest Airlines, it's just plain smart. By Phillips 66 high-quality super clean gasolines, keeping your car's fuel injectors and intake valves clean for smooth driving performance. By your friends at 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. By your Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana Toyota dealers. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And by Parks Root Beer, the one with bite.
Back at beautiful Royal Stadium in Kansas City for the second of this 3-game set. Mark Gubicza on the hill for the Royals. And it'll be Raines, Sachs, and Ventura here in the top of the first inning. And as usual, Royals get things started early here, so we don't have a chance right now to go through our regular lineups and defense for you. But the first pitch of the ball game up high in the count 1-0. Rock hitting at 273, a couple of homers, 17 RBIs. Check the 13 RBIs, 0 for 4 last evening. Ball hit into center field. Brian McRae. And there's one gone.
And here's the lineup for the White Sox. Tim Raines in left field leads off. Steve Sachs at second base. Robin Ventura will play third, hit third. Cleanup is Frank Thomas at first. George Bell is the DH. Danny Pasco plays right field. The bottom third of the lineup has Lance Johnson in center. Craig Grayback plays shortstop, and catcher Ron Karkovice. Defensively, the Royals have McReynolds, McRae, and Eisenreich. Try and say that quickly. In the outfield, Jeffries, Wilkerson, Miller, and Joyner around the horn. Gubicza and McFarland.
Steve Sachs takes a strike. Gubicza making his 11th start of the season. He has 2 complete games at a mark of 5-3 as that pitch is checked up, fouled off. And the count 0-2. Mark's 29 years old, 6'5", 225 pounds, out of Philadelphia.
See his numbers, 5-3, 3.38, very respectable. 10 games started, he has completed 2 of them. Good hits to innings pitched ratio.
Up high. Well, when he's right, he has got one bodacious sinker.
Yes. Heavy ball.
That pitch low. 2-2. Sachs hitting at 227. No homers, 15 RBIs. He drew the collar last night. He was 0 for 5. That's fair ball. Greg Jeffries, a long peg low, and Wally Joyner cannot come up with it. That really should be a base hit right there. It is a base hit.
Good call. Saxy's got that good speed. Of course, the ball's hit right down the third baseline. Jeffries got it behind her in third base, had to rush his throw. As you can see, it takes the high hop up to him, but he has trouble finding the handle. And the throw is a little bit low in the dirt. It looks like Saxy had it beat anyway. I'm sure the official scorer took that into consideration. What a guy.
Good call right there. So Saxy, 9 stolen bases in 12 attempts, but Mike McFarland is very good at throwing out base stealers. Here's Robin hitting at 276, 3 homers, 26 RBIs. McFarland has thrown out 10 of the last 25. That's a 40% mark.
40% is over average. Yeah, but what is he for the year? 10
for 32.
32. Well,
it don't make any difference. He's getting better, Wimpy. So if he's getting better, if maybe Saxy, if he'd have done it the first time, would have been a lot better off.
No, I'll take my chances on stealing these bases on these guys. I'm going for his overall record. Gooby's a big guy. Of course, he's got a pretty good move to first base.
Does. He's got quick feet over there.
Tough to get 3 hits in an inning off this guy, though. Go.
How would you? I like to see action out there.
Oh boy.
You're going to lose. Go down swinging.
That's right. Go down running too.
Robin takes a strike. And the count 1-1. Ventura 0 for 4 last evening. So if you take the top 3, Raines, Saxon, Ventura last night, they were 0 for 13. That's why it was just a nice thing to see the lower part of that order really do some damage, highlighted by Matt Marullo and Craig Graybeck. Lance Johnson dug out nicely by McFarland, and the count 2-1.
Well, you don't win championships by relying on 2 or 3 guys to do all the hitting all year long. It's got to be a total team effort. That's what the White Sox need. They need everybody to contribute to this offense.
5th meeting of the year between the two teams. They have split the first 4. Sox with a mark of 24 and 23, 2.5 games back in the West. Kansas City 17 and 32, 10.5 back. Robin in good shape right here. 3-1. Grip it and rip it.
Take off from first.
Like one of Wimpy's tee shots. Just grip it and rip it.
Shank.
Nice Sox, Wally.
I was doing some investigative reporting. I'll tell you about Wally Joyner's socks.
There goes Sox. That's ball 4 is academic.
Right.
So the 34th walk of the year for Ventura. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home get yours. That'll bring up Big Frank hitting at 288, 7 homers, 29 RBIs, 1 for 3 last evening. Big Hurt put up his 43rd walk last night. Gubazov. Breaking ball strike. All right, we'll show you our picks to click. Dan Rowan, we've included old Slick and Silk in this thing. Now he took Craig Graybeck. Skip Ellison, our producer director, took Danny Pasco, Wimpy, Robin, and I'll take the Big Hurt. Pitch low and away, and the count 1-1. Dale Ford behind the plate. Al Clark at first. Crew chief Larry Barnett at second. And Greg Kosk at third. Those are the men in blue tonight. Sachs at second. Ventura at first. That pitch low, and the count 2-1. 330 down each line. They're at Royal Stadium. 385 in the gaps. 410 straightaway center field. See, the rain has been falling today, as yesterday. 70% chance for showers tonight and tomorrow. Two 2-1 pitch. Checks it up. Yes, he did. So the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gubazov has only thrown 2 home runs this season.
Well, he's most effective when he keeps the ball down. He's been pitching very well this year. Of course, this is a big ballpark. Not a lot of homers hit here.
Pitch out of play. Well, Kansas City has 27 home runs as a club. Only 5 of them have been hit here.
Yeah. Well, that area between left center and right center, that is Death Valley.
Still, when you go 64 innings against big league hitters and only throw 2 home runs, that's good.
Yeah.
Hal McRae. Once again, a 2-2. Little comebacker. Gubazov with a shot at 2. Wilkerson. And they turn it. So So nothing across for the Sox here in the first after having a play. It's the Sox zip and Kansas City coming up.
No score, bottom of the first inning. Here's the Royal lineup for tonight's ball game. Keith Miller leads off at second base. Greg Jeffries at third. Wally Joyner will play first base. Middle third of the lineup has Kevin McReynolds in left field. George Brett at DH. Right fielder Jim Eisenreich. Bottom third of Mike McFarland at catcher. Brian McRae plays center field. Curtis Wilkerson is the shortstop. Defensively, the Sox have Raines, Johnson, and Pasqua in the outfield. Ventura, Grayback, Saxon, Thomas around the horn, and the battery of Jack McDowell and Ron Karkovice. Blackjack is 7-3, 3.96 earned run average. He has started 10 games, completed 3 of them. 72 and 2/3 innings, 66 hits, only 11 walks, and 49 strikeouts. 241 is what the league is hitting against McDowell.
Keith Miller gets jammed. 2 hopper. Grayback, piece of cake, 1 pitch, 1 out. Thank you.
The third baseman, number 9.
Miller coming in hitting at 304, a couple of homers, 10 RBIs, just coming off the disabled list. So that'll bring up Greg Jeffries, the third baseman, an 18-game hitting streak going for him. And is tied with Gary Sheffield of the Padres for the longest in the major leagues this season. Greg hitting at 254, homer, 17 RBIs. Takes a pitch low. Well, you'd think a guy on an 18-game hitting streak would be hitting closer to 354.
I know. Well, he was really scuffling. You know, he had a horrible spring.
Yeah.
And April was just brutal for Jeffries, so he's just now getting on track.
He's going to be a good one. Just 24 years old, tied for the league lead in doubles with 16. Takes the strike.
And playing in Middle America, Hawk. A little bit different than playing in New York City.
Oh,
from a pressure standpoint.
Big time. Pitch just off the plate. Blackjack looks in at Dale Ford. So the count 2-1. Boy, you're talking about the antithesis of Shea Stadium.
I know. I know. I spent a half a year there. 10 years there, 1/2.
High in the left field. Ball hit pretty well. Raines going back. He's there. And there's 2 gone.
The first baseman, number 12, Wally Joyner.
One of the interesting things about this Kansas City lineup tonight is that nobody in this lineup has ever hit a home run off Jack McDowell.
That's interesting. And Jack has given up 11 long ones on the season. Jack hasn't walked a whole lot of people, but he has given up some homers.
Here's Wally Joyner. Wally World hitting at 322, 4 homers, 19 RBIs, 1 for 4 last evening, knocking in a pair. Lifetime against Jack, he is 4 for 22. Outfield shading him a bit to the left. That's a piece of cake into center field. Lance Johnson is there, so a very quick 1-2-3 inning for McDowell, and after 1, no score. Leads off the top of the second. It'll be Bell, Pasqua, and Lance Johnson to face the 6'5", 225 right-hander Mark Gubazov. He is a big man. George takes the strike. Bell 1 for 4 last night, hitting at 250 on the season, 5 homers. He's knocked in 27. Fouls it off in the count 0-2, and a reminder that everything from the rules and nuances of the game to careers for women in baseball will be covered this summer as the Sox and Venture Stores present Women in Baseball Clinics. That's the first clinic. Will be Saturday, June 20th at 11:30 a.m. at Comiskey Park, and will feature manager Gene Lamont, Ed Farmer, and several women who make their careers in baseball. George is gone on 3. So for just $49, you'll receive lunch in the patio, clinic admission, 4 bleacher tickets to the June 24th Sox Cleveland game, a t-shirt and notebook. Just call 312-451-5356 to reserve your spot. It's a book.
You done?
Here's Pasqua.
I didn't catch all that. Would you repeat?
Danny hitting at 200. 2 homers, 13 RBI.
Wow.
Watch that bat. Ball into left field. McReynolds.
Holy mackerel.
Tell you what, Gubazov out there, he will get it and throw it.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll pick in a pitch in a hurry, but watch this swing by Pasco. It looks like he makes pretty good contact right here. They want the fastball inside, gets it out over the plate, and Danny's just left there with a handle. Looks like he hit that ball pretty good. Look at that. Head of the bat flying. Fortunately, nobody was around.
Here's Lance. Very quick inning here for Mark Gubicza. 1, 2, 3, and after an inning and a half, no score. Bottom of the second inning, it'll be McReynolds, Brett, and Eisenreich to face Blackjack McDowell. McReynolds hitting at .224, 7 homers, 19 RBIs, 1 for 4 last evening. He has an 8-game hitting streak going for him. He's 11 for 29. 4 doubles, 3 homers, and 8 ribbies in that span. Up high in the count, 2-0. Outfield straight up, spread out. Rains deep and left. There's some gas on the outside part of the plate. Well, from what we've seen, Wimpy, it looks like all you got to do with McReynolds is just keep the ball away.
That's right. Outer half of the plate. He looks like he's just committing himself to the inside pitch. Inside fastball, just letting up on everything else. There's a good strike by Jack, down and in. Yeah, he's giving up the entire outer half of the plate.
Well, that's all right if he's going to really protect the inside part. I'll tell you, against good pitching, you just cannot cover that whole plate.
Whoa.
Good pitch right there. Jack didn't get it, and the count goes full. Into center field, right at Lance, and there's one gone. And I want to send out a big White Sox hello and congratulations to Eddie Pearson, who was the Sox first-round draft choice yesterday. 18-year-old first baseman out of Bishop State Community College in Mobile, Alabama. 6'3", 225-pound switch hitter, Wimpy.
He's a big one.
Rated 12th among the top 100 baseball prospects by Baseball America. George Brett takes the strike. George, 39-year-old veteran, hitting at .260, but he has been getting warm. 17 for his last 47. That's into center field. Can of corn. And 2 gone. Also Eddie Pearson, one of 40 invitees to the 1992 Olympic team tryouts. Eddie, right-handed thrower, played 2 years of baseball at LaFleur High School in Mobile. So our congratulations to the youngster. It's quite an honor. Here's Jim Eisenreich.
Whoa.
Makes the bunt and almost catches it right between the molars.
Wow.
I'll tell you one thing. I can talk about this. You can't win. It's a good thing it didn't hit him in the nose.
You're right.
2-0 the count.
Well, Eisenreich made the last out of last night's ball game. He came in as a pinch hitter. George Bell made a good play on him towards the left field line.
Fastball out of play. And talking about some more good young players, Ken Griffey Jr. just hit a 2-run homer in the top of the 4th inning. Game tied at 2. Ken Griffey, his 10th homer.
Yeah, he's having a great year. It's going to get better and better.
2-1 pitch. 3-1 the count. That's trouble. That's going to be a gapper. I'll tell you, this man has absolutely got a magic wand against the Sox. Seems like every time he swings the bat that he hits the ball, it's a base hit.
Take a look at it. It's a 3-1 pitch. Pretty much right there. Got his arms extended. Finds that gap between Raines and Johnson. Big hole out there. This is the ballpark where you want to hit line drives. Hit fly balls, and they are, as Hawk explains, cans of corn, because there's just so much room out there. They hang up there. The outfielders are able to run underneath them.
Catcher Mike McFarland beats that one off the plate foul. Mike hitting at 195, 5 homers, 16 ribbies. He's been in a bit of a funk. 3 for his last 30. 0 for 4 last evening. Boy, he can hit some vicious line drives out of the ballpark. He's strong. Watch that unusual stance of Mike's. Where was that pitch?
Whoa, looked like it was right down the middle. Belt high. I don't blame you, Jack. Now, why isn't that a strike?
Oh, it is belt high.
He probably called it high.
Middle of the plate.
Unbelievable.
1-2 the count. And a reminder, the only official fan club of the Sox is the Coca-Cola Silver and Black Pack. Open to kids 6 to 16. Now members receive 6 coupons good for 3 Sox games, membership card and certificate, club wallet, stickers, newsletter.
And what? How much is going to cost, though?
Only $15.
No way.
Yes. So just stop by your local Sport Mart for an application.
It's a great deal.
Oh. Uh-oh. It's a can of corn. One dog's got that one, and that'll do it. After 2, no score.
White Sox baseball is Dodge and the good guys at your local Dodge dealership.
Top of the 3rd inning. Hit for each club, no runs. It'll be Graybeck, Karkovice, and Tim Raines to face Mark Gubicza, as this game is moving along at a hasty pace.
Well, both pitchers aren't doing a whole lot of thinking on the mound.
Just like some of your putts, Wimpy, a hasty pace. Craig 1 for 2 last night. Takes the ball, drove in a big run, made a couple of good plays, hitting at 253, a homer, 15 RBIs. Little hurt. The ball hit hard into left center field, but this is Kansas City. Brian McRae is there. Can of corn.
Yeah. Well, we always talk about what a great ballpark Kansas City is for hitting, and the lights are super at home plate. You see the ball very well. The good hitter's background. The only thing, you just can't hit the ball in the air unless you just have gargantuan power. You got to have hair on the bottom of your feet to hit the ball out of the ballpark between those 385 signs.
What are you talking about? Bo Jackson made this park look like Williamsport.
Well, did you ever check the bottoms of Bo Jackson?
Kark fouls it back. Bo hit some shots.
Oh, my.
Here, I'll tell you. I used to love to watch Bo take batting practice. He'd go up in those fountains up there in right center field. Fountains in left center.
Yeah.
Against that back scoreboard wall up there in center.
Monster shots. And the wind never blows out here.
That's inside. Like we were talking about last night. Got to get Bo back with a club. Boy, he adds a lot of pizzazz and life to a situation or a scenario. Get down, little duck snort. Attaboy, Kark.
See, that's what you got to do here. There's a lot of room for those outfielders to cover out there, so you just flip them over the infield like Karkovice did. Got jammed on a fastball, but it was strong enough, took a good enough swing to get it over the infield.
Left fielder Tim Raines.
So 1 out, 1 on. Here comes Rock. Fly to Brian McRae. And a reminder, White Sox Charities is offering the first ever behind-the-scenes tour of beautiful Comiskey Park, an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour never before available. That include a close-up of players doing batting practice, game tickets, dinner to the barge room. So for only $150 a person, all proceeds go to White Sox Charities. For more information, just call 312-924-1000. That's one thing about the Sox. They do a ton of charity work.
You're right. Speaking of charities, we'll be out Thursday at the Golf Club of Illinois in Algonquin for Dan Jiggett's Celebrity Golf Scramble.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah. And it's a great cause too. Benefits Children's Memorial Hospital, something the Sox have done for years.
That's in the center field. And there's 2 gone. Yeah, I'm going to play Dan that day. I'm going to have him give me one aside, and we're going to play.
He's pretty big, you know. If you try and
I can outrun him, Wimpy.
I don't know.
Definitely.
All right, let's have a foot race.
No, that's
you,
only
me, and Jiggets.
We're going to race for 10 yards. Here's Steve. He had an infield single in the first inning. I'll tell you, those football linemen, they're amazing. How quick they are for 20 yards.
That's right. They're like alligators.
Oh.
You better get away from them.
There's a strike, and the count of 1-1. But that's going to be a lot of fun on Thursday. So if you hadn't made your plans to be out there with us, find out and come on.
We're going to start practicing about 1.
Pitch low and away. 1-1 the count.
Then when we get done practicing, we'll have to go out there and play, right?
That's the bad part about it. Just stand over and hit balls. Kark at first, no score. Top of the third. Got to keep an eye on Kark, as Gubazar is well aware of. He has 2 stolen bases. He's quick. Gubazar in his 11th start of the season. Slider strike, and the count 1-2. Mark a lifetime record in the big leagues of 102 victories, 89 defeats. Look at this. Look at the play by Wally Joyner. I'm a son of a gun. Sachs has been real. Boy, is he hot. I don't blame him. Great play by Joyner. Now will retire the side. After 2.5, no score. Brian McRae will lead it off for the Royals here in the bottom of the third inning. No score. It'll be McRae, Wilkerson, and the top of the order, Keith Miller. Brian takes the strike on the splitter. Hitting at 189, a homer, 17 RBIs, 0 for 4 last evening. 24-year-old switch hitting center fielder. There's a base hit. Reached out and hooked that one. So good speed aboard. He's going to try to 2. And Saxey can't get it out of his glove. There's a hustle, and caught him sleeping just a little bit at the switch.
That's right. A good combination of both right there. Very aggressive base running by Brian McRae. He's got great speed. And he shows it right here. It's a solid single to right field. And I don't know if I've ever seen anybody attempt to go to second on a play like this. Take a look. Fastball down and out over the plate. He hammers it there. Pasqua takes his time, flips it in the infield, and by that time, Brian is almost to second base. Boy, he's just thinking double all the way on that. Pasqua's got to fire that ball in there. He just flips it in. He probably beats it anyway.
No, not if he gets it in there. He's not. Here's Curtis Wilkerson. Takes it high off the plate.
Well, if Danny Pasqua throws the ball in there hard, there's no way he can.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. Still should have had him. Saxey shuffles it to him in a hurry. Wilkerson 1 for 3 last evening. He's 2 for 3 lifetime off McDowell. That's going to go foul. So the count 1-1.
Well, Wilkerson knows that he's going to have a difficult time pulling Jack McDowell's. He's got to get that runner to third with less than 2 outs. So drag bunting is a good alternative right there. Get it past the pitcher, and you got a chance for a base hit as well. Curtis, as you can see, is struggling with that 197 batting average, 1 homer and 11 RBIs.
One delivery. That's going foul. Taking a couple of scores for you. Minnesota leading Toronto 4-0. That game in the top of the third inning at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. Milwaukee leading Detroit 4-0. Bottom of the second at County Stadium. Yankees leading the Rangers 2-0. Bottom of the first at Arlington. Later on, Boston takes on the A's at the Coliseum, and Baltimore against the Halos at the Big A in Anaheim. 1-2 pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
When you talk about Wilkerson not a pull hitter, there is an enormous gap between Dan Pasqua and Lance Johnson in right center field. Almost like a football field between those two guys. But that's the defensive alignment. That's what the scouting report says on Curtis Wilkerson. At least from the left side of the plate, he's a switch hitter.
Long look by McDowell, a 2-2 delivery. Rips it. Curtis, 31 years old. One of 3 switch hitters in this Royal lineup. Pops him up. He will not get the job done. Lance calling for it. Makes the catch. And there's one gone.
No, in that situation right there, Jack McDowell throws nothing but fastball, especially upstairs to Curtis Wilkerson. He's not going to pull the ball. That was a good pitch right there in that situation to keep that runner from staying on second base. So now you got to get a base hit to score him.
Plus the fact fastball's up. He's not going to get on top of him either.
No, can't get his hands above that pitch.
Here's the second baseman, Keith Miller. Got jammed on the first pitch he saw from McDowell. Bounced out to Graybeck.
Well, this is Miller's first game back. He was on a disabled list because of some back problems. He's a good acquisition from the Mets. He's really sparking this team until he got hurt.
Takes a strike. 28 years old. 11 doubles. 6 stolen bases. 10 for his last 28.
Miller was the best offensive players the Royals had early on in the season. Of course, nobody was doing just about anything except for Miller, who had pretty much maintained that 300 batting average throughout the season. Joyner was doing some hitting also.
Takes a strike and the count 0-2. Rain and threatening skies have kept the crowds down the last couple of days. That's inside. Royals averaging 21,696.
And one thing Jack McDowell's got to do right now with middle infielders, they got to keep Brian McRae close to second base. I don't think as aggressive as he was in the first part of this inning. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't take off for third.
Saxey trying to jockey in behind him. Jack with 1 out. And the 1-2 pitch. Oh yeah, he'll grab some bench. 2 gone.
Boy, this is an outstanding pitch right here from McDowell. It looked like a split finger pitch that he took a whole lot off of. This is almost like a changeup. Look at it right there. We've said this so many times that when McDowell throws that splitter slower, he is much more effective with it because it adds something to his fastball, and he has the action of the curve actually when he throws that pitch. So that's a great strikeout pitch for Jack. There's 2 down.
Greg Jeffries fly to Raines his first trip. Splitter strike. Yeah, if Jack makes a mistake with that splitter, it's got to be because he threw it too slow rather than too hard. Most of the 11 home runs hit off McDowell this season have come off hard splitters up.
Yeah, that had the same effect of a hanging slider.
That's right. That's upstairs, and the count 1-1. And a reminder, Tim Raines leads off the 92 season by raising funds for the Whitney Young High School athletic program. For each stolen base in the season, Rock will donate $100. So corporations or individuals interested in matching or exceeding Rock's donation should call 219-884-7921. The ball and 2 strikes to Jeffries. Brian McRae at second with that leadoff gift double. Hard hit, but Big Frank will suck it up and take it himself. That'll retire the side. Good job by McDowell. After 3, zip. A good, quick pitcher's duel going for you this evening. McDowell and Gubazal, as Robin Ventura will lead off the top of the 4th. Takes it inside. Robin drew a walk in the first inning. Outfield straight up. Robin 3 homers, 26 RBIs. Gubazal wanted that one, didn't get it. So the count 2-0. Robin in good shape.
Grip it and rip it.
Up high, 3 balls, no strikes. So Robin going to take one. That's ball 4. 35th time this year that Ventura has walked, but more importantly, the leadoff man aboard, and that'll bring up Big Frank. And a reminder, you can plan a private party for 20 to 1,500 people out in the Kingsford Charcoal picnic area at beautiful Comiskey Park. So for more information, just call the Sox at 312-924-1000. And that is the Bertucci boys, Domain, Bobby, and Bruno.
And they are good. No, they're great.
They are. I said I can't wait till that spicy chicken gets out there. There's a nice stop by Mike McFarland. Frank 0 for 1 hit into a double play in the first inning.
Well, the Bertucci boys just send you like changes in their menu whenever they're coming about, or
no, before they can do that, they've got to consult me.
Oh, so did you like recommend that they add on to their chicken
oh yeah, sure.
specialty?
Sure.
Good.
I might give them a recipe. I don't know yet.
Ooh, you ought to give them the recipe for your steak. Steak pie.
Steak. That's Casey's steak pie. 21 to count to Big Frank. Al McRae, been a tough season in his first full year as skipper. That's off the glove of Gubazal. Look at this, right to Wilkerson. That'll be 1-6-3, same as the first inning.
Wally Joyner made a great play last inning on Steve Sachs. Here's a tough break for Frank Thomas. Watch it. Pitches downstairs. Gubazal just gets his glove up there in the nick of time. Deflects it right to Curtis Wilkerson at second base, and that's an easy 1-6-3 double play for the Royals.
So the Sox hitting into some bad luck thus far as George Bell steps in. He punched out his first trip. Into left field off the end of the bat. McReynolds is there, and that'll do it. Nothing across after 3.5. No score. Whole bunch of Sox fans here in attendance in Mid-America, coming from all over the Midwest to see the Sox as Wally Joyner leads off the bottom of the 4th inning. No score. Joyner fly to Lance Johnson his first trip. Sachs backhands it, sucks it up, throws him out. 1 pitch, 1 gone. Thank you. up the left fielder, Kevin McReynolds. He lined to Lance in center. Just off the plate. Jack wanted it, didn't get it. There's a strike, and the count evens at 1. Finale of this 3-game set tomorrow night. A couple of southpaws out there in the finale. Greg Hibbert for the Sox and Mike McNulty for Kansas City.
You mean Cy McNulty?
Cy McNulty, boy, he looked like Cy against us back home.
He got his only victory against the White Sox, mixing up those off-speed pitches, occasional fastball.
2-1 pitch. Chopper, 2-hopper. Great Beck, piece of cake. Texas has come back to take a 4-2 lead over the Yankees. That's in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Not in Arlington. Tigers in Milwaukee tied at 4. Bottom of the 3rd at County Stadium. Minnesota leading Toronto 4-1. Bottom of the 3rd in Minneapolis. As Dennis Amenas steps in. George also fly to Lance Johnson his first trip. George tied for 27th place on the all-time hit list with 2,876. Wimpy, who's he tied with?
Frankie Frisch is the next guy. How about Mel Ott?
Yeah, that's right. Look at those names. Wow. Good hack by George. George also with 1,033 extra base hits. 15th all time, just 8 behind Pete Rose. Last night a stolen base. Running hard, I'll tell you. What an asset to his profession. What a credit to the game of baseball. Man has never dogged it. And that's all you want to be able to say when you take those spikes off for the last time. Is it gave it 100% every day. Of course, you don't have 100% every day, but he gave it 100% of what he had that particular day.
I don't think there's any question about it. He's the greatest example to young players, I think, of anybody still active in the major leagues. The way the game is supposed to be played is the way George Brett plays it.
Just got a piece of it.
Good pitch by McDowell. Had George on that front foot.
Well, I think it's a little bit unusual that here you and I both have a lot of time around Major League Baseball. And between the two of us, George is our favorite player all time to watch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. George Brett in his prime was an absolute thrill to watch. You know, it was just like an honor to be on the same field with him.
Pitch low. And the count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
I wonder about that knee brace, that front knee, if he really is able to get those hips through because of that. See, he's got a zipper on that right pant so he can get the knee brace on. Has to play with that on an everyday basis because of the problems that he had last year. You wonder just how much that restricts his swing. Not there.
He rips that one. That's going to be extra bases. As Brett on his way to second. Pascal will get to it, get it back in. George's 12th two-bagger of the season.
Well, he got the head out right there. That was the one problem we thought George had. I guess that knee didn't bother him right there on this swing. Watch him get the head out. George Brett is at his best when he's doing right that. Right there, pulling the baseball. He just hammers that into that right field corner. Tell you what, you got to try and make him hit the ball the other way.
He still does not firm up on that right side the way he used to.
Right.
And I think it's because of that brace, right? Here's Jim Eisenreich. The man with a magic wand against the Sox. He had a double in the second inning. Eisenreich against the Sox this year is 6 for 16. And it has been amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Slash.
Look like my tee shot on number 18.
Yeah, it cost us $10.
Sorry. Don't try this at home. See, the ball's already behind Jim Eisenreich before he makes contact. Kind of body moving. His hands didn't have a chance to really get used on that particular swing. Body went forward. The hands just dragged through there.
So all 3 Kansas City hits have been doubles. Takes it up. Count remains 0-2.
That's where you want to throw Eisenreich. If you can, try and jam him with the fastball. He starts from almost a dead still position, or actually a dead still position, and he can't get to a good fastball because he really doesn't have that good rhythm working for him. Although Eisenreich is a good off-speed hitter.
Inside, 1-2 the count. Chopper right side, Big Frank recognizes it. First hop, touches the bag. That'll do it. Double by George Brett, goes for naught. After 4, no score.
Top of the 5th inning here at Royal Stadium in Kansas City. The Sox with 2 hits off Mark Gubicza. The Royals have gotten 3, all doubles against Jack McDowell. Danny Pasqua is going to lead things off for the Sox here in the 5th. Danny hit a fly ball to left field his first time up. That was in the 2nd inning. Changeup down and away. Mark Gubicza, a 3-pitch pitcher, has got that good fastball that moves a lot. Down and away to the left-handed hitter. There's a fastball hammered foul. Danny got the head of the bat out.
Danny breaking out of a bit of a slump the last couple of games. Here's last night. This was a big hit. 2-run double. Got the breaking ball. Just roped it down in that right field corner.
Yeah, Boddicker hung it, and he slashes this one foul too on the ground against Gubicza. But Boddicker hung that pitch, and he paid for it. Good to see Danny getting the head of the bat out in the last few ball games.
Yeah, but you know, 4 or 5 days ago, if he makes that same pitch, Danny hits it over there by that tarp.
Yes. Hooks it and just a strike. Ooh, there's a breaking ball in the dirt. McFarland got that one on the wrist. Ooh, that hurts.
Gubicza is not the easiest guy in the world to catch. He's one of those guys like in spring training that you hate to hit off of, you know, in batting practice.
Absolutely. You know, the first time I saw him was one of those B games. Excuse me, 9 o'clock in the morning. The Royals used to bring a crew of people over to Sarasota. Got to hit off this guy and never even saw the ball. It was like 9 in the morning. He looked like he was going to be an outstanding pitcher back then. I think he was about 19 years old at the time. Danny fouls this one off. Boy, he's wearing out that ball boy down the right field line. Another thing about Gubicza, I faced Gooby when right after I came off the disabled list, I had a broken hand, and he drilled me just above the elbow.
Nice.
Dude, and that was painful. Felt like it stuck right in my arm. There's another one in the dirt. He got Dale Ford this time. That hurts, doesn't it, Dale? Look at this. Oh,
got him right in the forearm.
Yeah, boy, Mike McFarland bailed out that time, didn't he?
He was out of there.
Yeah,
you're on your own, Dale.
He made a right turn. Dale, you should have been bailing with the catcher. So, Pasqua hanging in there, cutting and slashing, fouls this one straight back. It's a good at bat for Danny right here.
Yeah, Gubicza is the kind of guy I would never have hit off of in batting practice and spring training. Never.
You know, he throws one of those real heavy balls.
Yeah.
You know, like we talk about Nolan Ryan's being a real light ball, you know, just kind of feathering it. Boom, gets there. This thing hits in there like a bowling ball. Slider misses. That's ball 4. Had 2-2 up on the board, but the ball in the dirt that knocked Dale Ford for a loop a minute ago was ball 3. So Pasqua leads off the 5th inning for the White Sox with a base on balls. That's his 3rd of the evening, given up by Mark Gubicza. Gooby usually walks about 1 every 3 innings, so he's a little bit ahead of that pace right now. We're in the 5th. The Sox See if they can manufacture something right here. Pasqua doesn't have real good speed at first base. See what Lance Johnson's up to. They're expecting the bunt.
He's not that slow.
Oh no, Danny runs well for a big guy. He's not going to.
Let's be creative though.
Steal second and third.
Let's do something creative here. No,
right.
He's not going to steal second and third.
He doesn't have a real good lead. I mean, if he falls back to first base, he's going to knock Doug Manzolino, the first base coach, in the knee. Lance Johnson takes strike one. Lance had a couple base hits last night. As you can see, Danny Pasqua has a very short lead. There's a high fastball. He fouls that one straight back. When you talk about taking leads at first base, a good lead or a great lead is on an artificial surface. 1 foot on the dirt, the other on the artificial turf.
But only if you're still thinking second base. If you get out there, a lot of guys can get out there 1 foot on the artificial surface, but they're thinking dead back to first.
Yeah,
That's a bad lead.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, it's in the dirt. Pasqua does not pick that ball up immediately, so he's still at first base.
McFarland.
Boy, he's taking a beating tonight. Well, Mike leads the league in getting hit by pitches, too. That's another unique honor that he has. He's been hit 7 times already. Joey Cora leads the White Sox. Joey plays only sporadically. Joey's got 3. There's a pitch. Ooh. Oh my. He punches him out on a fastball down and in. So that'll be the first out of the 5th inning.
Oh man.
Man, that is low and inside.
That's wrong.
Lordy.
I don't blame you, Lance.
No, there's a legitimate gripe right there. Here's Craig Grayback. Craig hit a fly ball to center field. Hit it well, but out at that 385 sign, so it's pretty much a can of corn here at Royal Stadium. There's a sinking fastball down low.
How'd you like to see Mike Heath behind the plate with Gubazov?
Oh, God. You paid double to watch that.
I know it. That would be fun.
Yeah. Boy, I miss Mike Heath.
I do too.
One of our favorite players. Mikey, if you're listening, make a comeback, will you?
You miss it.
Outrageous things he used to do. Here's a 1-0 to Grayback. He grounds this one left side. It's in the hole. Wilkerson to second base, and they get Pasqua on the force. Good play there by Wilkerson. That was his only shot, and he got the out at second.
The catcher, Ron Carcavice.
Well, that's a bit because of the conservative lead. There's a play that could have been beaten in second base.
Yeah, sure looked that way. Of course, when you look at that small lead, trying not to get picked off, sometimes you're under aggressive, and that'll take you out of an inning also. So here's Ron Carcavice. He's 1 for 1, single, his only time up.
I'll tell you, there's one thing there's one guy that always sticks out in my mind over the years of beating that play in the second base was Carlton Fisk. Carlton always had that good lead over there, even with 1 out, of course, or even sometimes with 2 outs, when the ball hit in the hole like that. He'd beat that play in the second base when that's the only play they had. He has done that more than any one player. And of course, Carlton not a speed demon.
No, he always got a good jump. He was an outstanding base runner. He still is. High stepping as he is.
George Brett's another one. George has beaten a lot of those plays. Balls in the hole.
And you get hits for your teammates too, so they like you a whole lot more. Some scores around the American League. Detroit and Milwaukee tied. Cark nails this one to dead center field. McRae on his horse way back. He's not going to get it. Oh, he did get it. Oh my, what a play by Brian McRae.
There's a gorgeous play right there. One of the best catches we have seen all season long. Let's take another look before we go to commercial.
Oh my.
Boy, I'll tell you, there's just a great play.
Back to the infield. Lord, halfway through it, still scoreless. Back at Royal Stadium in Kansas City, scoreless tie as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, and there is the culprit of the night. From the White Sox standpoint, Brian McRae probably made the best play we have seen in ages. Mike McFarland's going to lead things off for the Royals. He takes a breaking ball down and away.
Yeah, that's the first 2-star I put on my book all year.
Well, if he can get 2 stars from you, that's amazing. Hey, you just don't throw those away. You just don't give them out like candy.
I'll tell you what, my 2 stars are like your nickels, like manhole covers.
Well, yeah, very frugal with those. As well you should be. Meanwhile, McFarland's got a 2-0 pitch coming up here. Oh, he went after ball 3, a 2-hopper. Craig Graybeck. Oh, high throw, but Big Frank is right there to stretch out and make it. There's 1 out. And Brian McRae will hit.
Let's take another look at that play by Brian McRae off the bat of Ron Karkovice, and here it is. He's going to score Graybeck, no problem. This ball hit hard by Kark, and watch McRae. This is just a beautiful, beautiful catch. Wow.
Best play of the year. That ball is hit directly over his head and hard. So he's got a drop step, run to a spot, has his back turned to the infield, and he's still able to make the play. Just almost blind to the ball. He's down in the count now, 0-1. He doubled his only time up there. Very aggressive on the base path. So he's been the best Royal player tonight, certainly. There's a ground ball foul.
Wimpy, where'd you buy your wallet? That's interesting. Wimpy's got the only wallet I've ever seen when he takes it out, an alarm goes off.
That's right. The local police station is alerted. And don't forget my killer moths, or myths. We haven't seen them appear tonight. Good breaking ball. McDowell just missed. The myths are not out tonight. Well, last night they were everywhere during that rain. Oh, good pitch right there. Splitter. Brian McRae will take a seat as Jack McDowell registers the strikeout. That's his 2nd of the night.
The shortstop, Curtis Wilkerson.
That's a good pitch to hit.
Yeah.
Got that ball up a little bit. The only thing was he took just a little bit off of it.
Yeah, see his hands, though, they were committed. By the time the ball got to the home plate, his hands were already gone. And that's what happens when you're hitting, well, $190. Here's Curtis Wilkerson with the 1-strike pitch. Curveball misses inside. Curtis flied out his only time up. Had a runner at second base, could not advance him to third. He was up there with no out. So Wilkerson, the hitter now, 1-1 count, 2 out in the bottom of the 5th. Oops, split finger, didn't go. And Leaf Candy and the White Sox have teamed up to offer you a sweet steal of a deal this season. You can bring Leaf Candy wrappers and application to window 1 at Comiskey Park or a Ticketmaster and receive a ticket for any home July ball game. Fastball up and away. You can look for the display wherever Leaf Candies are sold or visit your customer service booth at Comiskey Park. Yeah, we got to get these a little longer.
Yeah.
Leaf Candy, they're good.
But that is a good deal.
Yeah, they're great. 3-1 pitch. Fastball hammered foul right side.
You know, Wimpy, you just made the statement about McRae and his hands coming with him. You show me guys that are struggling with the plate, and I'll show you 95% of the hitters, when they're taking a pitch, their hands are coming with them.
Oh, yeah, they can't pull the trigger.
95% of them. You get some guys that are just in a slump that stand up there, as there's Brian, and hands stay back pretty well. They're not hitting the ball. That only happens occasionally. 95% of the time, it's because those hands come with them and the head's moving forward.
Yeah. Hands have got to stay back to hit. There's a hanging split finger pitch. That's fouled into the Royal dugout. Players scattered. Brian McRae. 3-2 to Wilkerson. Fish ain't biting. Fastball. No, he didn't go. So with 2 out, Curtis Wilkerson walks. Jack McDowell has been very frugal with the walk situation. Jack has now walked just 12 on the season. over 75 innings of work. So the runner at first base with 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Keith Miller will hit. Miller 0 for 2. He's a strikeout victim. Struck out in the 3rd inning. Miller, as we mentioned earlier, just activated from the disabled list. He had back problems, so he had to sit out for a couple weeks. Jam shot. Oh my, that hurt. Frank Thomas makes the easy put out. We've all been there. After 5 at Royal Stadium, still nada.
That's the story. Gubazan and McDowell working quickly, throwing up a whole bunch of nils up there on that board. It'll be the top of the order for the Sox. Raines, Sachs, and Ventura. And we were talking earlier about Eddie Pearson, the Sox #1 draft. This is also the time of the year that all clubs are very pleased and optimistic as that pitch fouled away, especially the director of scouting and the director of the minor league situations. This is what they worked for all season as a draft. Larry Monroe with the Sox and Dwayne Schaefer. Well, I'll tell you, Dwayne Schaefer is outstanding at what he does. There are a lot of good scouts around. There's one down in Valdosta, Georgia. That's one of my favorites, Ellis Clary.
Oh yeah, Ellis, good
Ellis,
scout.
boy, you're talking about knowing some talent. And knowing the ropes of baseball, that pitch just fouled.
You know, scouting the amateur thing has got to be the toughest thing in the world to decide whether or not a young man is going to ever play in the major leagues and to make him your #1 pick, that sort of thing. Of course, there's some obvious guys, but I'll tell you what, you know, scouting the major league certainly is a difficult task, but I don't think it's anywhere close to being what is scouting young kids.
Get through there. No, back to Jeffries. Well, scouting today is tougher than it's ever been. As you all know, we've talked about it, and you brought up a couple of great points last year when we were talking about this time. The draft was up. You know, it's just very. As you look at Buck O'Neill, Kansas City scout. Buck, of course, one of the favorites of all baseball people. One of the nicest guys in the game. And I'll tell you, he's still got a terrific sense of humor. Handsome man. Here's Sachs, but one of the things that makes it so difficult to scout, especially your offensive players, because of the aluminum bat. You know, and it's also because of the. That's to the right side. Keith Miller, and there's 2 gone. Because of how lively that bat is, it's changed pitching around at the college and the high school level. It's turned a lot of guys into sinker slider pitchers, you know, that could have developed a good fastball. Now, the ones that can really still throw hard. I understand Kansas City just signed a high school kid in the 1st round yesterday, a 17-year-old 6'7" right-hander. Whoa. His name. Struck out 17 in the high school championship game yesterday, throwing 92-93. Here's Robin. He's walked twice. This time he's going to hit a 2-hopper right to Miller, and very quickly 1, 2, 3. Wow. After 5.5, 0. Of the 6th inning, just 5 hits in this ball game. 2 by the Sox, 3 by Kansas City, as Greg Jeffries will lead it off. Takes a fastball upstairs. Greg 0 for 2, has an 18-game hitting streak on the line. It'll be Jeffries, Joyner, and McReynolds. Up high, 2-0. You know, we won't be getting back to the scouting and how difficult it is today. Much easier to get a line on a pitcher than it is a position player because of that aluminum bat.
Oh, I don't think, yeah.
But, you know, you got to have scouts that are willing to go out on the limb, so to speak. There's a strike. And again, to bring back up like a guy like Dwayne Schaefer, he will tell you, we should take this guy. You know, a lot of those guys walk the middle of the road.
Yeah.
You know, which is but the good ones, they'll tell you, hey, we should take this guy. I'll put my reputation or my job on the line for it. And Dwayne will do that. Now, you're not going to be right all the time in scouting because some of the best players in this game are like 14th, 15th, 16th, 19th round picks.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, how objective is scouting on the draft? There's a strike, and the count goes full. But you still, in my opinion, that is still the blood, the heart, the arteries of baseball, scouting.
No doubt. And that's how you build up a strong organization, too, through your scouts. Dodgers used to have the best.
Get fouled. They will. EBB.
Something happened to the Dodger organization after the, well, about the 70s, I guess it was. They lost a lot of their good people, and you don't see any Dodgers wearing a Los Angeles uniform anymore. They're all products of other organizations.
Well, almost every organization, they're just not a whole bunch of real strong farm systems around.
Yeah.
Almost everybody's in the same boat. You know, and you see these ratings on farm systems. To me, that is so much BS. It's unbelievable. That, for the most part, is the luck of the draw. Who is smart enough to know that an 8th round draft choice is going to be coming up? There's a ground ball right side. Big Frank will take it himself. No, he gives the jack. And there's one gone. Who's smart enough to know that Mattingly will go in the 15th round and he's going to become that, or Canseco in the 19th round and he's going to become that?
Yeah, that's true.
No chance. Wally Joyner steps in. Wally 0 for 2. He's glide to center and bounce to second. Wally takes it low. Little looper in the left field. Raines playing deep, will not be able to get there. Joyner on his way to second. Here's the throw. He's going to beat it.
Well, for one thing, I think Tim Raines is playing much too deep for Wally Joyner. Wally doesn't have good power the opposite field. And you can see that's a medium depth fly ball. If we can see the replay of this, Wally does not have good power that way. He can pull the ball. He's a finesse power type hitter. Timmy's just way too deep on this play. And plus, he doesn't have a strong throwing arm. Wally Joyner doesn't have good speed, but he's able to get the second base easily. A double, that's a 4th double given up by McDowell tonight.
All 4 hits have been doubles. As McReynolds steps in, he's 0 for 2.
Yeah, that's a play that shouldn't have happened.
They could play 150 games and Wally Joyner's not going to hit one over Raines' head.
No way. And that's why you love it when Wally Joyner tries to hit the ball the other way, because in my opinion, he's a pull hitter. He just takes away from himself by going the opposite way. Jack made him do what he wanted and has to pay a price for it.
Pitch off the plate and the count 2-0. Tell you, somebody better keep an eye on Joyner out there, even though he has not run well. He has 4 stolen bases this year in 4 attempts, and that's obviously when they will just forget about him and give him one.
Yeah.
Nice socks, Wally.
The dark.
There he goes. Nobody paying attention to him. But Carr, yes, right on the money. Grab some bench. You could see Wally out there wanting to run, but Karkovice.
Wow. Had to throw around McReynolds' big body right there. He just throws a bullet right on the money.
He had to.
Yeah, Joyner got a pretty good jump, as you mentioned, Hawk, and you can see it's a bang-bang play. Ventura puts the tag on him, and that's the second out.
Pitch way outside, so the count 3-1.
Wally trying to make something happen. Royals last in the league in just about every offensive category.
Pitch up, out over the plate, and the count goes full.
I think Wally realizes that it's going to be tough to get a hit off Jack McDowell in this situation. He wanted to try and score by way of a sacrifice fly, anything.
Hey, he made
Not
the right play. He made the right play. Just took a perfect throw by Karkovice to get him. So ball for the McReynolds before George Brett steps in. Let's pause for station identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
Ball with Tom Paciorek, Ken Harrelson from Royal Stadium. Take a look at this 3-2 pitch to Kevin McReynolds. I guess he called it low. So here is Brett, 1 for 2, a double. Back in the 4th inning. Outfield playing him around to the left. Takes it up high. What are you looking for, 5?
Yeah. Suicide squeeze. You know, George Brett's the kind of guy you hated to see come up to the plate in the 9th inning with a winning run type situation, him being the winning run, representing it. He hit more home runs, I think, than any hitter the last 10 years in situations like that.
Yes, and the count 1-1. Well, I told you, I thought the Carl Yastrzemski was the best clutch hitter I ever saw. And I don't care who was pitching. George Brett is number 2 clutch hitting in my career. I don't care who's pitching either. You know, when George is healthy and swinging that bat. But George has just been a fun guy to watch in his career. George getting a little long in the tooth now. 39. But he's still hitting hard.
He's still young.
I tell you, he is young if his knee will hold up.
Yeah. Well, we had a graphic when Kansas City about Kansas City. He has played more games on artificial surface than any player in the history of the game. That's a bunch.
Hey, Jack taking a page out of Kurt McCaskill's book right
like
there.
It.
Yeah.
That's tough playing all those games on artificial surface. Your knees, your back, all those problems, ankles. They can't feel as good as they would had he played on natural grass all those years.
1-1 pitch. Double hit it. Add 2 shots. And the count 1-2. 2-stroke penalty.
Forget that.
You don't count.
Not in my rule book. No way. Takes away all the enjoyment.
Two deliveries. McReynolds takes off outside. Kark with the throw, not in time. That's his 4th stolen base in 5 attempts.
Well, McReynolds got a great jump on Jack McDowell. Karkovice lays a bullet right there. You can see he's off to the races. Big guy. He can run. And Kark fires a good throw down there. As you can see, McReynolds is already there. Don't fault the catcher on that one.
So the count hangs at 2-2. Bottom of the 4th at Arlington. Rangers still leading the Yankees 4-2. Toronto has tied up the Twins at 4. That's in the bottom of the 5th at Minneapolis.
That's good. You know, his first year with the Mets back in '88, or his second year, he stole 21 bases. McReynolds did.
Play left side.
Bless you.
Thank you. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. No score. Nice play by Karkovice. So the count goes full with Jim Eisenreich on deck. George is 8 for 21 lifetime against McDowell.
Well, you just got to try and make a great pitch right here. Just ace him or let him get ball 4. Make Eisenreich beat you.
So McReynolds at second, Brett at first, 2 down, and here's Eisenreich. Did a little flare double in the left center field in the second inning, and he bounced to first. To Big Frank in the 4th. Any question, Dale Ford's got a higher strike zone, and these guys have been working too. And I mean both sides.
It's called some wide strikes too.
Jackie Brown. Cleveland leading Seattle 4-3. That's in the bottom of the 8th at Cleveland Stadium. As we mentioned earlier, Ken Griffey Jr. has cranked out his 10th homer in that ball game. Eric Hansen against Dave Otto. 4-4 tie. Detroit at Milwaukee. Mark Leiter against Ron Robinson. 4-4 tie at Minnesota. Blue Jays and Twins. Stottlemyre against Pat Mahomes. Rocket right to Sachs. He makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. Nothing across a hit, no errors, 2 left. After 6, nothing. Like Jack McDowell has given up 4 hits, all doubles. Sox have garnered only 2 hits, an infield single by Sachs and a little duck snort by Karkovice off Mark Gubazov. It'll be Thomas, Bell, and Pasqua to face the 6'5" right-hander. Dick Frank 0 for 2. He's hit into 2 double plays. Last time hit a bullet right back through the middle with Ventura on. Deflected off the glove of Gubazov right to Wilkerson at short. Wind blowing out towards left. And the count 2-0. Checking some National League scores for you. The Cubs beat the Padres 3-2 in 13. 2-run homer by Andre Dawson. That was with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Tied it up, and they won it in the 13th. Bosky the winner. Gene Harris the loser. There's a strike and a count 2-1. Dawson can hit.
He always could.
Always could.
Boy, one of the really great high ball hitters.
The ball hit hard in the right field. Eisenreich.
Boy, Frank just hammered this one. This was gaining altitude, just a rocket.
Frank's the only guy that's hit the ball hard tonight.
Yeah, and he's 0 for 2. 3 to show for it. My goodness, this is a rope. Watch the pitch. It's a fastball pretty much inside half of the plate. Frank gets extended, a little inside out action. You see his hands come before the barrel of the bat. Just a bullet. My.
Here's George. He's 0 for 2. Struck out and flied to left. Takes a fastball inside.
You know, you see a lot of funny plays out here by the outfield. There's something about playing the outfield here, Hawk. You see almost a shadow coming at you from the. I don't know if it's the lights, because the lights are outstanding for hitting, but it's very difficult to play the outfield here, especially if you come in just for a 3-game series.
Other National League action. Pittsburgh shut out the Dodgers 1-0 at 3 Rivers. 1-1 the count. Cincinnati beat the Cardinals 2-1 at Riverfront, so Sweet Lou's a happy camper. It's up high. 2 balls and a strike. Rips that one foul. Counts even at 2.
On Sunday, June 7th, the Sox and the A's wrap up a weekend series at Comiskey Park. All children in attendance will receive a baseball bat courtesy of the Chicago Tribune. For tickets, call Ticketmaster at 312-831-1-SOX.
A baseball bat.
Hello.
Full count to George Bell. That's always a fun time for all the youngsters.
Oh, yeah.
On deck hitter. Squall. Just got a piece of it.
I'm watching George Bell hit. It's just George. I can remember I have a visual picture of him watching him last year with the Cubs and of course all the years he had with Toronto and even early in the season with the White Sox. He's just not getting his hands back. You know, remember that he gets to that back position, but he's really not getting back as far as he needs to, or he has, and his hands are virtually going forward almost immediately. That's why he's not able to center the ball, and when he does, he really is not hitting it as far and as hard as he can.
Right fielder Dan.
No, George is in a slump. There's no question about that. He's the kind of guy go like that for a couple of weeks and come out of it and go like the devil for a couple of weeks. I think he's using too much hands. As I said, when you start using too much hands right there, you don't know where your body is, and your body's flying out, and he's just trying to use all hands as Danny steps in. Right side. 4, 6, and good job by Bell. They get the lead man, and there's 2 gone.
Good hard slide into second base by George Bell. Curtis Wilkerson not able to complete the double play, and Hal McRae's going to say that Bell is out of the baseline. Let's check it out. No, he went right to the base.
He got the base.
No complaint there.
Hal, you should talk.
Oh, yes. He'd be out there in right center field chasing a middle infielder.
Saw him take out, I believe it was Jerry Dubzinski at second base. I'm telling you, he wasn't within 5 feet of the bag.
Probably made Dibber's legs bow.
That was one of the reasons.
Yeah.
That Dibber's
right
nose.
Like croquet.
Lance Johnson. Hal McRae was one of the hardest sliders really in the history of this game.
Absolutely.
As far as taking out second baseman and shortstops.
He, Don Baylor.
Bob Allison, formerly of Minnesota Twins. Dwight Evans was a guy who would absolutely tear you off second base. The Red Sox. Checks it up on the 1-1. Lance has flied to center and struck out. Called out on a bad pitch back in the 5th inning. They're playing behind Pasqua. A lot better pitch than he called him out on.
Yes.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the top of the 7th. Little looper, could be trouble. McReynolds coming on. He won't be able to get there. Fair ball as Pasquale now will hold at second. So the 3rd Sox hit.
Well, with 2 outs, you would think that Pasco would be able to get to third base easily on this. Just a little flare in the left field. That's not a picture perfect swing. He just kind of flips it over the infield. Pretty good pitch there by Gooby. And you can score even from with 2 outs. You can score from third base a lot more different ways than you can from second. Especially with 2 outs, you got to be running on contact.
So it's up to Graybeck with 2 gone. Pasqua at second, Johnson at first. Craig 0 for 2. He's flied to center and hit into a fielder's choice. Takes it low.
Well, here's Dan Rowan's chance to be the winner in his first pick to click contest. Graybeck, if he can drive this runner home.
Are you talking about Silk?
He's smooth.
He's smooth. Ooh. Striking the count 1-1. I wish we'd have had Rowan on that golf course today.
I think we could have like robbed him.
He can play a little bit. Delivery.
Oh boy.
Good pitch to hit right there. So Graybeck down, a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Craig will tell you his head's moving just a little bit too much right now. He knows that when he gets in a little bit of a funk at the plate, he has that severe weight shift back. He's way on his back side, but he's still able to keep his head still when he's going well. The smaller the head movement, the better contact Graybeck makes. That was a good pitch to hit, but he just got out there, body moving forward, and that takes his head with him. Hands just drag through.
Got him. Good pitch by Gubazon. That'll retire the side. Nothing across. There was a hit. No errors. 2 out. After 6.5, no score. As you can see, a good pitcher's battle tonight. Blackjack McDowell against Mark Gubazov. A couple of 6'5" right-handers going at one another. Just 3 hits for the Sox. All 3 of those hits for the Sox. 2 of them been Ducks Norris, the other infield variety. Wells with 4 doubles. The only guy who's really hit the ball hard for the Sox has been Big Frank Thomas. It'll be the lower third of the Royal Order. McFarland, McRae, and
Mick Wilkerson.
I'd love to have a Big Mac right about now. Here's Mikey's 0 for 2. Gone to the center and bounce to Graybeck at shortstop. Cleveland has beaten the Mariners 4-3 in Ohio. That's foul. Bottom of the 6th at County Stadium, Tigers and Brew Crew all tied at 4. Top of the 7th at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, Blue Jays and Twinkies tied at 4. Bottom of the 5th inning at Arlington, Rangers leading 7-2 over the Yankees. Oh, he's gone. He'll grab some bench. 3rd strikeout for Blackjack. 1 gone.
Location's not too hot on this split finger pitch, but whoa, does he take enough off of it? If McFarland's going to hit this one, he's going to have to supply all the power himself. Slow, slow. Way out in front. He got him way out on that front side. So McFarland strikes out. Here's Brian McRae.
Well, he's been one of the stars tonight. That ball in the left field. Raines, he's got plenty of area. Makes the catch. 2 gone. We'll show you a little later on the catch that Brian McRae made, saving a run back in the 5th inning. Best catch we've seen all year.
And more importantly for the Royals, it saved a run.
Is there an echo here or something?
Huh?
2 out.
2 out.
Wilkerson 0 for 1 with a walk.
Did you say that?
Yes.
When?
0-1 the count.
0-1 the count.
Uh-oh, that's trouble. That is trouble sticking in your pocket. Once he got it by McDowell, no chance. So a 2-out bunt single by Wilkerson.
And Jack McDowell just takes his hat off to Wilkerson right there. Great execution. Wilkerson's been trying to do this all night. Fortunately for the Sox, this is the first time he's been successful. See, he doesn't rush it this time. Just kind of puts the bat on the ball. He gets it by McDowell. No chance after that. Once the second baseman has to field it, just stick it in your pocket. Keep him off second base.
Yeah, if he had done that back in the 3rd inning after the leadoff double by Brian McRae, been a whole bunch of trouble. So with 2 out, here's Keith Miller, leadoff hitter. He's 0 for 3. Bounced to short, struck out, and he's popped to first. That last time up, he gave it a Doc Edwards shot.
That hurt. You got to put some foam on that thumb. He's not hitting with any batting gloves either. Ow.
Got jammed right there. Graybeck over to Sachs. That'll do it. Nothing across. There was a bunt single. After 7, nothing. Oh, 3-0 for the Sox. 5-0 for Kansas City. Here in the 8th inning, it'll be Karkovice in the top of the order. Raines and Sachs to face Mark Gubazov. Kark is 1 for 2. He was robbed of extra bases on that brilliant catch by Brian McRae back in the 5th inning.
Saved a run, didn't it?
That's thrown away. And a count 1-away. Come on, Kark. 2 balls and a strike. Mets leading the Giants 4-3, bottom of the 8th at Shea Stadium. Eddie Murray, a grand slam home run in that ball game. Philadelphia leading Atlanta 2-1, top of the 8th down at Fulton County Stadium. There's a base hit. That a boy. McRae quickly gets to it. He will get it in. So the leadoff man aboard. So Kark 2 for 3, should be 3 for 3 with an RBI, should be a 1-0 ball game, and there's the reason it was not. Watch this play by Brian McRae. Graybeck on at first base, 2 out.
Boy, I'll tell you, it just doesn't get any better than that.
No.
Back to the infield. Boy, he couldn't have seen it until it got over his right shoulder.
Wow,
Man.
and of course, guy, the prototype of that catch was in the '54 series, Mays against Vic Wirtz. Rock squares the bunt, takes the ball. And a reminder for a free brochure on this summer's White Sox youth baseball camps for children ages 7 to 15. Just call 1-800-666-1002.
Well, one thing, it seems like every time you get a cheap hit your first time up, get a little jam shot, it seems like for some reason it eases you mentally, and you're able to concentrate a little bit more, and you always wind up having a decent day, or at least hitting the ball better as the game progresses. Certainly what happened to Karkovice today. Boy,
Well,
he just hit 2 ropes after that.
You're the one that should be fined, really. Dan Rowan was going to take Karkovice, and you
I did not.
Yes, you did. You talked him taking Graybeck. There's a bunt fouled away, so the count 1-1.
I don't know. I can't remember that far back.
Houston shutting out Montreal 5-0, bottom of the 7th down at the Astrodome. Pre-finals in the National League. Cubs beat the Padres 3-2 in 13. Andre Dawson's 2-run homer, 2 out in the bottom of the 9th inning off Randy Myers. Tied it up. Bunt. It's going to stay fair. They're going to go to second base. Not in time. Bad selection right there by Mike McFarland.
Fielder's choice.
Got to be a sacrifice, not a fielder's choice. Got to be a sacrifice and a fielder's choice.
Wow. Watch Timmy Wright. Look how he deadens it. He just catches the ball at the end of his bat right there. Mike McFarland ill-advised right there. Karkovice got a good jump. You can see he's safe easily at second base. No way he had a chance. Okay, they change it. That will be a sacrifice and a fielder's choice. Right. So the Sox in business here. 2 runners on. Steve Sachs, the hitter, and the Royals, you might expect, are looking for the bunt. They're in at the corners.
Saxey 1 for 3. He was robbed of a base hit on another beautiful play by Wally Joyner. That was in the 3rd inning. That might have scored Karkovice as well. That ball was right down the line. Joyner made the play.
Yeah, defense has been very good in this ball game.
Short straight up. Fakes the bunt, takes the ball. Gubazov says, where was it?
Well, they are scurrying around that infield.
Yeah, right here. He's got to go down the 3rd baseline.
Yeah.
Make the 3rd baseman Jeffries, who's right at the cut of the grass down there, or the turf, I should say. There's Greg.
Yeah, because as Gubazov releases the pitch, he's going to be breaking for that 3rd baseline, trying to get the bunt so Jeffries can stay at 3rd and get a force play.
There's a bunt. Aha. Good one. That's a good bunt by Saxey. Sacrifice. 5-4. Kark into third and Raines into second.
That's a nice right there. Hal McRae's on his way out to the mound right now. Ventura is going to be the hitter. Good execution in this inning by the White Sox. First Raines and now Steve Sax. Two good bunts, gets two runners in scoring position with just one out. So let's see what the strategy is going to be by Hal McRae. You got Ventura, the hitter, first base is open.
Well, you would think that they would go ahead and load him up with Robin, but still, as we mentioned earlier, the only guy that's hit the ball hard tonight has been Big Frank. He's 0 for 3, but he has hit 2 rockets.
Of course, Frank leads the world in base on balls received. So you certainly don't want to risk walking in the potential winning run. So conference is over.
Another look at the beautiful bunt here by Steve Sax. As we mentioned, you got to make the third baseman feel this bunt. He got a good pitch though, right there. The tail into him a little bit. Very nice. Makes Jeffries field it. So good execution, as Wimpy mentioned. Now they're going to go ahead and put Ventura on. That'll be the 5th walk issued by Gubazov.
Well, Gene Lamont's got to like this situation. Now all Frank Thomas has to do is hit the ball in the air. They will probably be playing in double play depth in the middle of the infield. And depending on how hard the ball is hit on the ground at the corners, whether or not they go to home or to try and turn that double play. But you got to like the White Sox chances right here with 1 out, top of the 8th inning, scoreless tie. You got the bases loaded and Big Frank at the plate.
What more can you ask for?
Something over that 385 sign would be nice. No, you're right, Hawk. Frank has swung the bat very well tonight, although he is 0 for 3. Solid contact.
Come on, Hurt. Couple of 6'5" guys going at one another. There's a shot into center field. McRae races over, makes the catch. As Kark will score, he will. Raines into third. Sox lead at 1-0. Yes. Well, what another rocket by Thomas.
Frank went after that first pitch and just nailed it. It was down and out over the plate. And that's where Frank likes it. We have seen him hit a lot of line drives. Brian McRae is doing a great job in center field. He's keeping the Royals in his game almost single-handedly. Look at the jump he gets towards the gap in right center. Had him played perfectly. Kark strolls home from third base, and the Sox lead it 1-0.
Here's George Bell 0 for 2 with a walk. Boy, he has scalded the ball tonight. Cues that slider off the end of the bat over into the Royal dugout.
I know Frank's leading. Jeez, did you hear that, Dan Roan? Skip, crew. I give it to you.
Outfield, a little round to the left. Ball hit hard in the left, right at Kevin McReynolds, fighting that line. Makes the catch, but the Sox get on the board. Sacrifice fly by the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas, and after 7.5, they lead it 1-0. Thomas, his 30th RBI with that sacrifice fly, bases loaded, and the Sox lead it 1-0, bottom of the 8th inning. It'll be Jeffries, Joyner, and McReynolds with Brett in the hole down there, 4th hitter. Jeffries 0 for 3, that 18-game hitting streak on the line for him, possibly. Fly to left, and twice he's gone out to Thomas at first. Going away in the count, 2-0. Top of the 8th inning at Minnesota. Blue Jays and Twins still tied at 4. Boston leading Oakland 1-0, top of the 2nd at the Coliseum. That's Hesketh against Moore in that ball game. Big pitch right here, 2-0, up high. Jack come back and get him. Strike on the outside corner. That's inside. Ball 4. Leadoff man aboard. Fourth walk issued by McDowell. Out to talk to Jack as Wally Joyner steps in.
Wally Joyner.
Activity done in the Sox pen. Southpaw Scott Radinsky. So here's Joyner. Had a little flare double back in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3. Joyner's got to try to pull in this situation, Wimpy.
Yes, he does. But I know he is much more dangerous when he's trying to pull the ball. He had all those good power years with the Angels, and that's what he was doing, pulling the baseball.
Yes.
Jeez, that was an ugly swing. Do it again.
Rain's very deep as now comes Gene Lamont. It looked like when he was going out there, it looked like he might be going to make a move. So an excellent outing right here for the 26-year-old right-hander Jack McDowell. Partial line 7+, no runs, 5 hits. Breaking the action. We'll be back to give you the numbers on Scott Radinsky right after this.
Bottom of the 8th inning here at Royal Stadium in Kansas City. Sox leading by 1-zip, and there you see Jack McDowell, who has just been relieved by Scott Radinsky. Jack working 7 strong innings, gives way. He has a 1-strike count on Wally Joyner right now. Radinsky does. And Rad, 3 of the next 4 hitters are going to be left-handed, so that is probably Gene Lamont's reasoning right here as you look at Radinsky's numbers. 2-1, 1.33 earned run average. He is appearing in his 23rd ball game, 1 save, giving up just 13 hits in 20 1/3 innings, 12 walks and 22 strikeouts.
So Joyner with the 0-1 count, and now it's 0-2. Outfield swung around to the left. Pretty good lead by Greg Jeffries. Ball hit in the center field. Lance is there. And a big out.
The left fielder, Kevin McReynolds.
Might have been too good of a pitch right there on 0-2. Joyner nailed that one. Fortunately, Lance was positioned right there. Gapper. So look at Bobby Thigpen warming up for the Sox in their bullpen, which is located in left field here at Royal Stadium.
Here's McReynolds, 0 for 2 with a base on balls. McReynolds just getting a look at the first pitch from Radinsky. One 4-0 for the Sox, 0-5-0 for Kansas City. The count. Blue Jays leading Minnesota 5-4. That's in the bottom of the 8th inning at Minneapolis.
That's good.
That's high and deep. Way back. You can put it on the board. Eighth homer by Kevin McReynolds, and Kansas City leads it 2-1.
McReynolds jumped all over this high fastball. He kept it fair, too. Radinsky got behind him 2-0, had to throw a strike, and it is belt high inside half of the plate, which is where McReynolds is particularly dangerous. He didn't miss that one.
Brett takes the strike. George 1 for 2, a double and a walk tonight. Breaking ball hangs inside, and the count 1-1. Ball and 2 strikes. Well, the way he took those first 2 pitches off Rad. Just getting a look at him. He missed downstairs, both of them. He hurt it.
Yeah, he did. He got that favorable count. That 2-0 means so much to the hitter. He can go out and be very aggressive and try and pull the ball with power. Of course, McReynolds didn't miss that pitch.
George took that one for the club right there. Took it a little too much of it, though.
Ooh, that was right on that bad knee of his.
It was a breaking ball.
I think Brett was just waiting for that pitch to break, and it never did.
I think, watch how he reacts. I think he was going to take it.
See, he's striding in to the ball.
Starts to get out of the way. Now he's going to take it. We got to get him right on top. Right on top of that brace.
Oh, man.
He's all right. Now he's going to go ahead and put a pinch runner in there for him. Hal knows with that 1-2 count, George is going to take that curveball. So Gary Thurman will come out and run for Brett.
Next running for George Brett, number 25, Gary Thurman. Now batting for the Royals, number 8, right fielder Jim Eisenreich.
So the 2-run homer by McReynolds. In case you're looking at the Sox ninth, Pasqua, Johnson, and Graybeck, scheduled hitters. As here's Eisenreich. Eisenreich 1 for 3. There's a fastball strike. Good speed at first. Shot, Graybeck. Quick toss, not in time. 2 gone.
Well, the guys that Radinsky has faced, they've all hit the ball hard. Line drive off the bat of Wally Joyner. Of course, the 2-run homer by McReynolds, and that one right there by Eisenreich. The shot hit right at the shortstop.
Mike McFarland. Line to center, bounced to short, and struck out. And a reminder immediately following tonight's ball game, it will be the 9 o'clock news. Little commercial toss over to first. No balls, a strike, 2 out. High in the right field, Danny Pasqua will make this play. That will retire the side, but not before the Royals come up with 2 runs, and after 8 they lead it 2-1. That's a story here in the top of the 9th inning. 2-run homer by that man right there. Kevin McReynolds, his 8th of the season, knocking in RBIs number 20 and 21. Off a 2-0 fastball from Scott Radinsky. Hit it way back, but the Royals here in the 9th Wimpy with a pitching change.
Jeff Montgomery has been their closer. 30-year-old right-hander. He's 5'11", 180-pounder from Wellston, Ohio. Features a fastball, slider, curveball, and the changeup. He's a good one. 0-4 on the season, but with a real fine 2.66 earned run average. He has saved 8 in 20 ball games. So Montgomery, working 23 2/3, has given up 20 hits, struck out 17, so he is a bit of a power pitcher. 8 walks.
Here's Danny Pasqua. Danny 0 for 2 tonight with a walk, outfield, straight up, spread out, takes the fastball high off the plate. Pasqua, Johnson, and Grayback. Sox with 1 run on just 4 hits. Watch out. Oh, he ripped that one. And the count 1-1. Mark Gubicza, another impressive outing. 8 innings. There's a shot, base hit in right field. Attaboy, hammer. So the leadoff man aboard. That by far is the hardest base hit of the evening for the Sox.
Without a doubt, Danny Pasqua is going to be pinch run for by Michael Huff. So Mike, with that good speed, will come in to run. Lance Johnson will hit. Boy, I'll tell you, Danny Pasqua really got the head of the bat out. You saw that ball he lined foul a pitch ago. He got a fastball out over the plate. He goes out and drills it. So you can still pull that outside pitch.
Yeah, you can if you're looking gas. So Lance now calls time as he steps in. Lance 1 for 3. Single back in the 7th inning. Jeffrey's in close at 3rd. Breaking ball strike. Has a quick move to first. That is not his real good move.
Slider. Good tight rotation.
He's got 4 good pitches, as you mentioned. When his control is good, he is really tough out there.
Yeah, and he's not afraid to throw any of his pitches in the count. There you see right there, late movement. So Lance down on the count here, 0-2. I think it's bat night here at the ballpark. Bats flying around everywhere.
Not the wooden ones.
No. 0-2 pitch coming up. Look at this. Boy, that thing went straight down. He can mix them up. He'll change speed with all those pitches too. So he's a tough guy to face. Here's Warren Newson. He's going to come out as a pinch hitter for Craig Graybeck.
Deegan hitting at 226, no homers, 3 RBIs. Sox are running the top of the 8th. Sacrifice fly by Big Frank Thomas, and Royals 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th. 2-run shot by Kevin McReynolds. There's a breaking ball strike.
Key for Montgomery, as in most pitchers, but if he throws strike 1, boy, he's really got the hitters at a disadvantage, because we talk about the 4 pitches. You don't see many 4-pitch relief pitchers or closers.
Mike Huff, good lead at first. Slider up high, and the count evens at 1. Matt Marullo has come out on deck to hit for Karkovice. Come on, Deacon. Need you. 1st and 3rd. Deacon down in the count, 1-2. Outfield bunched a bit. Jeffries well off the line at 3rd. Got him on the inside corner.
Looked like an outstanding pitch by Montgomery. Get the 2 quick strikes and then try and make a nasty pitch. Looked like it came back just enough on the inside corner. So there's 2 quick strikeouts for Montgomery. Matt Marullo, the last chance for the White Sox tonight.
Had a big base hit last evening, hitting at 182. I'll tell you, Montgomery taking an awful long time to unload the home plate. Mike Huff with a good jump over there, or a good lead, I should say, at first base. Might be worth a shot. He's not if that is the move he's using, that's not the one he used last year. He was quick over there. That's not a quick, good move at all at first. Breaking ball in on the fist. Beats it foul. So with the count, no balls, 1 strike, 2 out here in the top of the 9th inning. Let's pause for station identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
Along with Tom Paciori, Ken Harrelson from Royal Stadium, second of this 3-game set. Sox in trouble. Fastball outside. 1-1 the count. You know, just with the personality of this ball game, I might let Huff get thrown out a second to end it.
Sure. When you only had 5 hits in a ball game, chances are you're not going to get 2 to drive in this guy.
He does not go. Breaking ball. And the count 2-1. I know that's something that nobody likes to do, but under the circumstances, this game has a little different complexion. Sox just not swinging the bat. Jammed him into right field. Jim Eisenreich is there. He'll make the catch, and the ball game is over. So nothing across for the Sox here in the 9th inning. There was a hit, 1 left. Final score as the Royals even up this series at a game apiece. They won it 2-1, and we'll be back to wrap it up right after this. Our Miller highlight play of the game came in the bottom of the 8th inning. 1 on, 2-0 pitch to Kevin McReynolds. Wimpy.
Well, he turned on it, got all of it, kept it fair, too. A great job of hitting by Kevin McReynolds, taking advantage of a cripple pitch on 2-0. Certainly the play of the game in this ball game. Not a whole lot of balls hit hard, but that was one of them, and certainly the big one.
Now the Sox with only 5 base hits in this game, as Lisa Gubazaw has seen her husband pick up his 6th victory of the season. And we'll be back with the final totals right after this.
White Sox baseball has been brought to you by Miller Lite, the great beer that's less filling. Miller Lite and the White Sox, it's it, and that's that. By True Value. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value hardware stores. By Southwest Airlines, offering low fares and frequent flights to many exciting destinations from convenient Midway Airport. Southwest Airlines, it's just plain smart. By Phillips 66 high-quality super clean gasolines, keeping your car's fuel injectors and intake valves clean for smooth driving performance. By your friends at 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. By your Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana Toyota dealers. Toyota, I love what you do for me. By Barks Root Beer, the one with bite. And by the Chicago Tribune. Get in the game. Get a Tribune.
Totals on the board for the second of this three-game series. For Kansas City, 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. They stranded 8 for the Sox. 1 run, just 5 hits, no errors. They left 7. The winner, Mark Gubicza. He is now 6-3. Scott Radinsky, the loser, throwing his first home run of the season. To Kevin McReynolds, that 2-run shot in the 8th inning, and credit Jeff Montgomery with his 9th save of the season. A reminder, our next White Sox telecast on Channel 9 will be Saturday night when the Sox host the Oakland Athletics. Our broadcast begins from Comiskey Park at 6 p.m. Central. Once again, the final score, Kansas City wins it 2-1. So for my partner, the Whipperoo, Tom Pachorik, our producer-director, Skip Ellison, this is the Hawk, Ken Harrelson. So long, everybody.